Hey everyone, Ryan here at E-Trailer. Today on our 2021 Ford E-Series motorhome, we're going to be checking out the etrailer.com XHD tow bar. Before we jump right in, I figured I'd just touch base on one of the main questions that we get asked in regards to setting up your Cherokee to get flat towed, and that's what parts am I going to need? So there's a total of 5 main components. You'll have your base plate, your tow bar, your safety cables, your tow bar wiring, your supplemental braking system, and there's one other thing that I like to recommend for the Cherokee, which is a towed vehicle charge line kit. That way your battery stays charged whenever you're flat towing. When it comes to picking out a tow bar, it's an important decision, because it's something that you're going to be handling a lot, and it's responsible for a lot of the work, being that physical connection point from the front of your vehicle to the back of your motorhome. You're going to want something that pulls your vehicle down the road, nice and predictable, and something that's easy to use. So as far as, how is this going to pull your vehicle? I've heard a lot of good things about it, and one of the reasons is it's a relatively long tow bar. And generally speaking, the more distance you have between the front of your vehicle and your coach, the better, right? It just kind of holds true when you're going straight, and follows the motorhome a lot better, a lot more responsive when you're making tight turns and things like that. And that length is important too, especially on a vehicle like our Cherokee here, where the attachment points for our base plate are really wide. So the wider that you get, you're going to close that gap more and more because the arms will have to be spread out more. So not really an issue with this vehicle because of the overall length. We still have a good distance between the front and the back of our motorhome. With this being the extra heavy duty tow bar, it's going to have a 10,500 pound weight capacity. So it's definitely up there, overbuilt in a lot of situations. And I feel like that should help the ride quality too. Being a little bit more on the heavy duty side, probably is going to absorb some of that road shock and stuff a little bit better than some of the more light duty type tow bars. Both of the arms pivot as well. So, you can really kind of get everything dialed in, and that even holds true with the head here. Whenever you have everything set up, there's a couple of bolts that you can loosen up and actually adjust this head to get it perfectly set up for your particular application, and all that stuff goes a long way in regards to how it's going to pull your vehicle down the road. As far as the ease of use goes, it's pretty straightforward setup. When you're ready to hook up, you just line up the end there, put a pin and a clip through, and that's really all there is to it, to securing it down to your base plate, which this one is going to work with E-Trailer base plates as well as Demco. The really cool thing with these E-Trailer tow bars though, if you happen to have a different base plate, we carry a ton of different adapter ends and tow bars that come with particular adapters to allow you to use it with different base plates, right? So whether it be a Roadmaster or Blue Ox, something like that. So if that's what you got, something you can always check into. Something I always recommend when picking out a tow bar is to make sure to get one that has a non-binding type feature, which this one does have. And it makes things really easy to disconnect. So for example, what can happen, once you're done flat towing, you get to where you're going, you go to disconnect everything, and sometimes the arms will get locked in and make it really hard to pull the pins and everything out. So if that were to happen with a non-binding type tow bar like this one, all you'll have to do is push these levers, and that'll release the tension on that arm, and you can get everything unhooked. As opposed to binding type tow bars, a lot of times those are kind of a huge pain. You have to get a special tool to release that tension or find some other means. So these being built in makes it really straightforward when you need them. They're ready to use. Another good practice too, this tow bar is designed to be set up how we have it here. So if you end up going with this one or any of the E-Trailer ones for that matter, whether it be the XHD or even the SD, get in the habit of putting these levers in on the inside portions of the arms like we have it set up here. This little rod here that you see on the side of the arm, that's a cable management system. And so you can see, we have our electrical cable on it, keeps it up off the ground and a little more organized. So if you're kind of starting from scratch, you know you want to go with this type of tow bar, make sure to get a coiled type cable like this one. That way you can properly utilize it. One of the nice things too is that the tow bar comes included with safety cables. So they're already set up for you. You know they're the right style, weight capacity, and in most cases the right length. In our case, we did have to extend them a little bit, and this is going to be situational for sure. So our motorhome's hitch is kind of tucked up in there pretty far. We did need to use what's called a high-low adapter here too, so that put more distance between the two, and that's where these safety chain extensions come into play. You know, with the tow bar completely extended out, you still want a little bit of play in the cables. That way they're not super tight, and you know, don't have to worry about, you know, maximizing everything out when you go to make a turn or something like that, right? And as far as this high-low adapter goes, you know, you may need one, you might not. It's just going to depend on your coach. The way you'd figure it out is park your coach on a flat surface, measure from the center of the hitch pin hole down to the ground, and then from the attachment points on the front of the vehicle, from the center there down to the ground. And if that spread is greater than 3 inches, then that's where a high-low adapter would come into play. So for example, you know, we had a pretty big swing between the two on ours. And so that's why I needed this high-low adapter. But it's kind of nice, this tow bar has a built-in drop or rise. You can put it in either configuration of 1.5 inches. We have ours in the rise. Most cases you're gonna see drops on the motorhome side, right? But because of this extra 1.5 inches that we had to work with that's built into the tow bar, that allowed us to get a more economical high-low adapter and you know, not have to get one that was significantly larger to make up the difference, and you know, spend about double the cost, generally speaking. You are able to store the tow bar on the back of your coach if you want as well, either temporarily or permanently. And with this one, you can bring it to either side, both of the arms, you know, whatever works best for you, or even store it in this position. So however you see fit at that particular time, you can do that. Now, one thing I do recommend, especially if you're gonna be keeping this back here more or less permanently, is picking up a bag or a cover. That way you could put it over the tow bar, help keep the weather off and protect your investment, and also a set of locking hitch pins. That way it'll be secured to the hitch and give you a little bit more peace of mind. Other than that, at the end of the day, good all-around tow bar. You know, it's easy to use and pulls your vehicle down the road the way you want it to. So really can't ask for too much more. But with all that said, I think that'll about do it for a look at of the etrailer.com XHD tow bar on our 2021 Ford E-Series motorhome.